Remember how the Supreme Court gutted affirmative action just a few months ago, saying colleges and universities can no longer explicitly consider race when deciding whether a student should be admitted? Well, today, the Education Department put out new guidance for how those very same colleges and universities can do two things at once: comply with the Supreme Court ruling, but also continue to pursue campuses that are racially diverse, and that includes students with a range of viewpoints, talents, backgrounds, and experiences. Now, before I tell you about how the Department of Justice and Education say they can do this, it's important to say this is guidance. It is not mandatory. It is not the law. But if colleges and universities want to continue to have diverse campuses, this would be how the Justice and Education Department say they can legally do that. Also, if you're a high school junior or senior and you're thinking about applying to college, or if you're a parent with a kid in that age group thinking about applying to college, this is important information to have, and I want you to have it, so I'm going to email it out to you tonight in my Newsgirl News Roundup email, so make sure you sign yourself up. As I reported in this video, when the Supreme Court released its affirmative action ruling back in June, it was nuanced. It was not black and white. The justices did not say colleges and universities can never consider race in the application process. In fact, the Chief Justice wrote in his majority opinion, nothing in this opinion should be construed as prohibiting universities from considering an applicant's discussion of how race affected his or her life, be it through discrimination, inspiration, or otherwise. The student must be treated based on his or her experiences as an individual, not on the basis of race. So what the guidance says is colleges and universities must create a more holistic application review process by providing more opportunities on the actual application for students to talk about how their individual backgrounds and attributes, including those related to their race, experiences of racial discrimination, or the racial composition of their neighborhoods and schools, position them to contribute to the campus in a unique way. For example, a university could consider an applicant's explanation about what it means to him to be the first black violinist in the city's youth orchestra, or an applicant's account of overcoming prejudice when she transferred to a rural high school where she was the only student of South Asian descent. Colleges and universities can also consider the words of a guidance counselor of how an applicant has overcome other racial adversities. But that's not where it stops. According to this new guidance, there's nothing in the Supreme Court ruling that prevents colleges and universities from continuing their outreach, recruitment, or pathway programs meant to get prospective students excited and aware about the opportunities of that college or university. That means they can consider race and other factors like geography, financial resources, and parents' education level to identify prospective students to increase the pool of college-ready applicants in high school and career and technical education programs. Now, what they can't do is provide these specific targeted groups of potential students with preference when it comes to the admission process itself. The guidance says the Supreme Court decision does not prevent colleges and universities from collecting demographic data on student applicants, including race. So yes, you may still be asked your race on an application. Again, it cannot be used as the determining factor for your admission into the university or college, but they can collect it along with age, sex, citizenship, etc. Now, the guidance also suggests, in light of the Supreme Court ruling, colleges and universities probably should start to review their legacy admissions policies as well, meaning maybe it's time to rethink giving special preference to children of alumni or big donors. The guidance says it may also be time for colleges and universities to rethink other barriers for some diverse applicants, like fees, standardized testing requirements, or the use of binding early decision deadlines. Again, this is important information, and I will email all the documentation out to you tonight in my Newsgirl News Roundup email.